In the heart of Chicago, a single scream shattered the night, and nobody knew who would live to see dawn. Chicago was alive, the streets glowing under neon signs and streetlights. But tonight something felt different. Detective Marcus Hale, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving impossible cases, sat at his desk staring at a file. The city never slept, but it seemed tonight even the restless wind whispered warnings. Marcus's phone buzzed. Another murder. And this one wasn't in the suburbs or outskirts. It was downtown, in the shadow of the towering Willis Tower. His partner, Alex Rivera, leaned against the doorway, eyebrows raised. Downtown, Alex asked, concern in his voice. Exactly, Marcus replied. And it's not just another homicide. There's something off about this one. They drove through the rain-soaked streets, sirens wailing in the distance. When they arrived, a small crowd had gathered around the scene. Police tape flapped violently in the wind, and flashing lights illuminated a body sprawled on the sidewalk. The victim, a young man in his 20s, had his eyes wide open as if frozen in terror. A strange symbol was etched into the brick wall nearby, and Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. And just as Marcus knelt to examine the scene, a shadow darted across the alley, disappearing into the night. Marcus inspected the scene carefully. Torn fabric in the victim's hand, a dropped wallet with an unknown ID, and a faint scent of gasoline in the air. Something about this scene screamed deliberate. Who would risk this in downtown Chicago in broad sight? Marcus muttered, "Who do you think is behind this shocking murder? Comment your theory below." As they scanned the area, Alex pointed toward a narrow alley. A faint trail of footprints led into the darkness. The detectives moved cautiously, each step echoing on wet concrete. Every shadow seemed alive, every corner hiding secrets. "This isn't random. This is planned," Alex whispered. The wind picked up, carrying whispers from the alley. Marcus's instincts told him something major was unfolding. He motioned Alex to follow the footprints deeper into the city. If you want to uncover Chicago's darkest secrets, hit like, comment your theories, and subscribe to follow the investigation. Suddenly, a trash can clattered, startling them both. Marcus drew his flashlight, scanning the alley. Nothing, but the sense of being watched grew stronger. They were chasing shadows in a city that seemed to close in around them. They thought Chicago was safe, but the night had just begun, and the real terror was still out there. Just when Marcus thought he had seen it all, the city whispered a secret that could destroy everything. The alley was dark and narrow, lit only by the occasional flickering street lamp. Marcus and Alex followed the trail of footprints, careful not to alert whoever or whatever was out there. The city's usual noise felt muted, as if Chicago itself was holding its breath. At the end of the alley, they discovered a door slightly ajar. Inside, the faint smell of gasoline lingered. Marcus motioned Alex to stay close. Their flashlights illuminated walls covered with strange symbols, much like the one at the original crime scene. Some were scratched hastily, others carved meticulously. And then, a chilling message appeared on the wall, one that made Marcus's blood run cold. Marcus crouched and read the words, "The city is watching. And so am I." "This isn't just a murder," Marcus said grimly. "This is a warning." Alex nodded, scanning the room. He found a small bag containing personal items from multiple victims. Marcus realized that this killer was careful, organized, and, most disturbingly, predictable. If you were in Marcus's shoes, would you follow the killer alone or wait for backup? Comment your choice below. Suddenly, a sound echoed, a faint scraping noise coming from upstairs. They moved quietly, every step cautious. The room was empty, but the feeling of being watched was stronger than ever. On the floor, a map of Chicago had pins marking specific locations. The pattern was unsettling. Each pin represented a high-profile area, a place the killer intended to target next. Marcus examined the map carefully. This isn't random. He's planning something massive. Alex's phone buzzed with an alert, a call from HQ. "Detectives, you need to return immediately. Another body has been found near Grant Park. 2 murders in one night. and Marcus knew the city wouldn't be safe until they caught this monster. They rushed to the scene. By now, the news helicopters circled overhead, and police cars lined streets. The victim at Grant Park was a young woman, her expression frozen in terror, and a similar symbol carved near her body. The pattern was clear. The killer was escalating. Marcus examined the scene and noticed something unusual. A small, folded piece of paper tucked under her hand. It read, "Next time, it might be closer than you think. This killer is toying with us," Marcus said, anger and fear mixing in his voice. If you want to help solve Chicago's darkest mystery, smash that like button, comment your theories, and subscribe to stay updated. As they walked back to the precinct, Marcus and Alex discussed the chilling implications. The killer was meticulous, intelligent, and bold enough to strike in the heart of the city. Every unanswered question only added to the tension. Who was behind this? And why were they targeting these specific locations? And in the shadows of Chicago, the killer was already planning the next strike, one that no one would see coming. Chicago thought the danger was over, but Marcus knew the worst was still coming. The city was tense. Word of the murders spread fast, and Chicagoans walked with a mix of fear and curiosity. Marcus and Alex sat in. Marcus leaned back, rubbing his temples. If we don't anticipate his next move, more innocent lives will be at risk. Suddenly, a call came from a terrified witness near Millennium Park. She claimed to have seen a suspicious figure lurking around a popular landmark hours before the murder. Marcus and Alex jumped into action, racing through Chicago streets. The city's usual hustle felt different tonight. Every shadow seemed alive, every corner hiding danger. And just as they approached the landmark, the witness whispered a name that made Marcus freeze. Inside the park, they found subtle clues, footprints, a discarded glove, and a torn piece of clothing. Marcus carefully collected evidence while Alex scanned the area for surveillance cameras. The trail was faint but telling. The killer was meticulous but left small mistakes. A signature, perhaps, or a message. He wants to be found in a twisted way, Alex noted. If you were Marcus, would you split up to follow two leads or stick together? Comment your choice. Back at the precinct, the detectives analyzed the new evidence. A pattern emerged connecting all victims. They were all in the same age group, had similar jobs, and frequented public spots at night. The killer wasn't random. He was targeting a very specific profile. Marcus's phone buzzed again. Another alert. Officer down near the river walk. Possible sighting of suspect. The chase was on. They followed the suspect along the Chicago River, adrenaline pumping. Marcus's mind raced. This could be our only chance to catch him before he strikes again. But the closer they got, the more the city itself seemed to conspire against them. Streetlights flickered. A sudden scream echoed across the river. A shadow leaped from one alley to another, disappearing into darkness. Marcus cursed under his breath. They were close, yet the killer remained elusive. If you want to follow Marcus and Alex to the shocking truth, hit like, comment your theories, and subscribe now. As they regrouped near the river, Marcus pieced together the puzzle. The killer was intelligent, bold, and dangerously close to finishing his plan. Every move so far had been calculated to instill fear. Marcus knew one thing. Chicago's nightmare was far from over. And as the city slept, the killer was already planning his next strike, closer, faster, and more shocking than ever. Chicago never saw it coming. The night's terror was about to reach its shocking finale. The city was tense, sirens wailing in the distance as Marcus and Alex prepared for the final showdown. The killer's trail led them to an abandoned warehouse near the south side. Rain poured down, creating puddles that reflected the flashing lights of police cars. Marcus's heart pounded as he whispered to Alex, "This is it. Tonight, we end this." Inside the warehouse, shadows stretched across broken walls and rusted machinery. Every creak and drip echoed ominously. Marcus's flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing the chilling scene. Symbols carved into walls, remnants from previous victims, and a single chair in the center. And then they saw him, the mastermind behind Chicago's terror, staring back. The killer, hooded and calm, stood near the chair, holding an envelope. Marcus stepped forward cautiously. "It ends tonight," Marcus said firmly. "Or does it?" The killer whispered, tossing the envelope toward Marcus. Inside were photos of previous victims, each marked with a new target. Alex moved to flank the suspect, but the killer darted toward a hidden exit. A tense chase ensued through the warehouse, crates toppling, footsteps echoing, and shadows hiding deadly traps. Marcus and Alex split up, trying to corner the suspect. What would you do in Marcus's shoes? Take the risk to chase alone, or wait for backup? Comment below. Finally, Marcus cornered the killer near a broken staircase. They exchanged a tense stare. The killer lunged, and a struggle erupted. Marcus, relying on his training, managed to subdue him. Alex rushed in, securing the suspect. Breathing heavily, Marcus examined the man. Identification confirmed it. He was a former city employee, obsessed with revenge for a past injustice no one had known. His meticulous plan had terrorized Chicago for weeks. Every clue, every shadow, led to this shocking revelation. Police arrived to take the suspect into custody. Marcus and Alex stepped outside, rain mixing with relief. The city was still alive, but its heartbeat was calmer now. They had stopped the terror, but Marcus knew the scars would remain. If you've been following this chilling Chicago case, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to uncover more stories like this. As the sun began to rise over the Chicago skyline, Marcus looked at Alex. "We did it. But the city will always hold its secrets," Marcus said. Alex nodded. "And we'll be here for the next shadow that emerges. Chicago may be safe for now, but some nights, darkness always finds a way back."